Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is another episode of Full Profits Podcast. Today, my guest, hailing from the magnificent state, the magnificent city of Virginia. My guest is Czar Nichols, from a place where they have a guy you may have heard of named Teddy Riley. They have a person, a young woman by the name of Missy Elliott. You may have heard of that. A person named Genuine. You may have heard of that person. Chris Brown. They say maybe from somewhere out there. And then by the way, there's this guy named For Real. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my podcast, Czar Nichols. Peace, brother. How you doing?
What's good, man? How's it going?
Life is good, man. God is good to me, man. This is the better part of my day, brother. I'm ready to get this going and talk to you and get some information from you, get some understanding from you as an artist, and rock out from there. How was your day
Okay.
today?
Hey, cool, man.
Sure, for
Can't
sure,
co-
for sure.
can't complain.
No, no reason to, man. If you did start complaining, I'll turn this shit off because I don't really want to hear anybody else complaining.
Yeah, for
I don't do
sure.
complaining, so I can't hear you complaining.
For sure.
What's it like out there, man, in Virginia right now? Because here in Chicago it's like 55 degrees, you know what I mean? And you know the joggers are out because they've been waiting to strut their shit since the winter time. So 55 degrees is like summer for us out here. What's the weather like out there?
It's cool out here, man. It's like 70s, 80s,
Okay.
Yeah, it was raining today though, so
Mm,
but it's cool out here for now. Usually it'd be like the weather is always changing out here. It's unpredictable.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. So let's go back. Let's go back. What are your earliest beginnings in music, my brother?
Well, man, I've been doing this music thing for a long time, man.
Mm-hmm.
From the time I was like 4 years old, I started once I started writing, like when I learned how to write, I learned how to write raps. It happened at the same time.
Very cool. So around what age is that we're talking about, my G?
Man, I would say about 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Buster.
Yeah.
All right. So early on, you got that bug in you. You got that bug, you feeling it. What music are you hearing around the house, my guy? Are you hearing bluegrass, jazz? Are you hearing techno music? What is it that you're hearing around the house that makes you say, I want to get involved in this music thing, Fizzle, that's going on out here?
Yeah, so it wasn't what I heard at that point. Before I got separated from my parents when I was about 4, my dad was a rapper. So I would always be around him, when he was making his beats, doing his songs and stuff like that. So I kind
Mm-hmm.
of just picked up on it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never put it down.
Okay. Okay. What was Pops listening to? What was some of the music do you remember listening to from Pops?
From what I understand, my favorite songs at the time was Phone Tap by The Firm, Master P, Make Them Say
Oh, for sure.
you
Good
know,
shit.
it was around that time,
Make them say,
right, yeah,
nah, 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 nah. Salute to Master P. Ba ba
right.
bam bam, ba ba bam bam. So what was it for you? Like, so you started off hearing this hip hop music, and you go, yo, do I you want to produce, or do you go, yo, I want to rap? What was it for you?
So I dipped my finger in producing, but I found out very early that it was not for me. I was not good at it. So
Mm.
I just stuck to the raps. Um I used to be like this super duper lyrical rapper because my favorite rapper is Nas. So like I was just trying
You
to
was lyrical, spiritual miracle.
for sure. I was trying to channel I was trying to channel my inner Nas and AZ, on every song I came on at the time. So that's the lane that I was like in for a while.
Hmm. Yeah, so, and what made you switch over to it? What made you switch from that lane to something different?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something my cousin told me, man. He was like, hey, he said, hey man, you can rap real good, man, but
Yeah.
don't nobody want to hear that shit. And from that day, I was like, all right, bet. I'll figure out another way.
Your cousin lied to you, man. People want to hear it. It's just that that shit cannot be boring when you do it, bro. When you do it,
Hey,
you gotta put that shit
hey,
together so magnificent and or extraordinary that when people do hear it, they say, "I never heard nothing like that before." And there's a small group of people that know how to do that shit so well that it's well well perceived and well conceived by the mass. I shouldn't say by the masses, but by that group of people that flock to you, right? Your fan club, your basis, your fan base that
right.
love the music that you do and everything. All right, so tell me this. Who are the MCs that you love to hear growing up when the radio is playing or when you're with the family or you're by yourself walking down the street listening to music, whether you're at school listening to music in elementary school or whether it was high school. What are the MCs or the artists that you're hearing that you love to listen to at the time?
Man, I can go through the different stages, man.
Come on with it.
When I was little, like a real little kid, I was raised around like my big cousins. So they
Mhm.
playing, actually I stole, I ain't gonna say I stole, but my cousin had this book of
I got a
CD.
goddamn thief on the podcast. God damn, bro. Keep on
My cousin had this big ass book of CDs,
going.
like this thick. And I took it out of his room one day and I'm just flipping through them,
Yeah.
I'm listening to every CD he had. Like I said, Nas is my favorite rapper. So I
Mm.
always, was a Nas fan. And my
Mm-hmm.
favorite Nas album was always It Was Written. So I was listening to It Was Written all the time. Um, a lot of people are surprised to hear that Big Willie Style is another one of my favorite CDs. I
Mm.
was listening to that a lot. And then really just everything. Like, I grew up when I was growing up, 50 Cent was out, he was hot.
True.
Get Rich or Die Trying was out, the game was out, you know. So I grew up around that era, They in the house listening to Dipset and Joel Santana, Cameron. So
I
I
would have been like,
got
no, sir. No, sir. I don't want to hear that.
I got everything. But once
Mm-hmm.
I once I played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is what I'm playing now on my stream,
Mm-hmm.
I got my ears opened up to West Coast music, and that was a
Mm-hmm.
wrap for me. After that, that's all I wanted to hear.
For yourself, let people know your streaming tag and everything like that, just in case they want to check in with you and vibe out with you and chop it up with you. I
Yeah,
don't
so
mind it.
if you want to catch me on Twitch, I'm at Rapstar Czar. I'm always live on Instagram under Czar Nicholas underscore. I'm always live on TikTok underscore Czar Nicholas. That's
So,
the trifecta for
for
me.
sure. So you listen to Nas, your favorite Nas album is It Was Written, right?
Right.
During that era, there was a lot of dope music that came out that people sometimes forget about. The Fugees.
Heard
Uh,
it.
yeah, there's a lot of different music that came out around that time that people are either that they forget about or they can't remember at this present time because they were so focused on what was being handed to them or what they preferred at that time. There was a lot of dope music in that 1996 era, 1997 era that came out,
Yeah.
right? Do you remember like three more albums that you loved during that time?
So around that time, for
Hmm.
me, I would say it was written. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Street Gospel, which I know came out a little later. It's like 97. Um, Street Gospel is probably one of my favorite CDs of all time. AZ's album, Do or Die.
Salute to AZ for dropping Do or Die 3.
Right, right. Let's see, man. I'm like an encyclopedia of music, so like I could just do this all day.
Good. I like to hear that.
Yeah, like because I've listened to almost everything I can like you can think of. So it's like, and mind you, as I got older, my taste started to change too. Like I stopped really like listening to rap and I started listening to more R&B. But I always listened to R&B too. Like it was always 50-50 for me. But as I got older, it was more R&B than rap. So um, like anything Static Major was involved in, like the Player album. Um, Aaliyah, anything Aaliyah, Usher, 8701.
Mhm.
Man, like, yeah, too too much music. I go on forever.
It's a lot of dope music that came out in those eras and everything. And the way that you're speaking on it. So I remember a lot of great music, but a lot of the music I didn't have myself. So I wasn't able to pick it up because Um, I wasn't focused on that, but there were other people that knew about the Reasonable Doubt album. They knew about Jay-Z's Volume One Hard Knock Life album. They knew about Lil Kim's album. So different albums that came out around that time, the Fugees album. There were so many different albums that came out around that time that friends and family with that they were aware of. The Dog Pound album. There's so many different different albums that people that were aware of that we didn't get at that time that I had to circle back and bootleg and everything. And I appreciate those times because that music was so great and so dope that it not only opened me up to West Coast music and New York music but it opened me up to more independent branded music that we never got a chance to hear. Boom. So for you, you going through elementary school, you get to high school, right?
Right.
Around that time, are you hearing about the latest artists from the Virginia area, right? From the Norfolk area, wherever it may be? Are you hearing about the Teddy Rileys? Are you hearing about the Pharrells um, working with the SWVs and things like that? Are you aware of that and their path to success around that time?
Well, when I was in high school, those guys were not the latest artists out.
Okay. All right.
By that, I'm 29, man. So I'm
Oh, you
not
a
like
young guy. You a young guy.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not an
Bet.
old man yet.
No, this it's not old. When you get there, you go, oh, it's not old. Like this is dope. Like you really seasoned. You understand things a lot more. But go ahead.
Right, right, yeah. So when I was in high school, I would say a lot of what I was listening to was that was current at that time. I was listening to Drake, Take
Mm-hmm.
Care, one of my favorite
For
albums.
sure.
I was listening to Big Crit. I was listening
It
to
is
Joey
dope.
Badass. I was listening to, you know, Currency.
Oh, shit is dope.
That's the J.
That's the vibe where
Cole.
you were. That's the vibe where you were
Right. I
at.
was listening to a lot of those guys as current artists.
Got
Now,
you.
I was always listening to DJ Quick, Sugar Free, Too Short,
Mm-hmm.
E40 in the Click. I was listening to that as well. But whenever a new artist that I like drops something new, I'm listening to that too. So it's like I get everything. It's not
Bet it
like
up.
I'm
Bet it
just
up. Bet it
yeah, I'm
up.
not just a guy that, I can only listen to old music. I can only listen to new music. I listen to all music.
Listen to
I don't
all
care
of it. I
what it
hear you.
is.
I hear you. So in your era, what was your medium of your medium to use to listen to music? Was it Bandcamp? Was it Apple? Was it iTunes? Was it Spotify? Was it YouTube? What was your brand of your
Yeah,
brand
so
your medium to
back in
listen to music?
those days, I probably had the iPod Classic. I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
I had going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would get the music however I could get it. In that time, I think it was a lot of LimeWire going on, a lot of YouTube to MP3 conversions going on. I found a lot of zip files on the internet.
I bet you did,
Um,
my nigga. How many? Did you get a lot of music off LimeWire before they took that bitch down?
oh man, so for me, I would say probably, but I use LimeWire for something different. When the girls or whoever would come ask me like, hey, I need you to make me a CD for my party this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm charging like $10 for a CD for like one of the mix CDs. I'm like,
Fire,
yeah, I got
fire.
you. So, because I was like the only guy out there with a CD burner, so
Mm.
I'm burning the CDs for all the parties. And so I'm using LimeWire for stuff like that. Like, the songs that I didn't know, you
Existed.
know, but they write me a list like I want this, this, this. I'm like, this is stuff that I would never listen to if it was just me, so that's
But
what
it's
I'm
a
using
decent hustle
LimeWire
for you
for.
though, right?
Oh, for sure. I was always about a hustle. When I was
Absolutely.
when I was a kid, I was making arts and crafts and selling them. I was selling candy. I was doing whatever I could to make some change. So, you
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. I did the same thing, brother. I sold candy, I shoveled snow, I raked leaves, I did all that shit to make a dollar. I mowed the lawn, I did any and everything I could to make me a good dollar. Boom.
right.
You coming up, you're inspired by this music. At what point do you say, I'm gonna start writing and developing myself as a rapper or as an artist? When does that happen for you?
Well, like I said, once I first started writing, I started writing excuse me, I started writing music. It was like at the same time. It's almost like I only learned how to write so I could write music,
Okay.
honestly. So, I'm probably 5 at the time, 6. And I'm writing my thoughts, writing how I'm feeling, writing everything. So, me and my cousin, we would always record together. Like whether it be and we started with the most absolute terrible, way to record. We had like this little tube microphone that we hooked up to the computer and we recording
Mm-hmm.
as the beat is out loud in the background, on the sound recorder on Windows XP. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we started bare bones, but we was extra young. It was like 5, 6 years old. And it just never stopped. So I always been serious about rapping and music. I never took it as a joke. Like, a lot of when I got to high school, a lot of guys started jumping on the rap train,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of guys that was athletes or, they was, the guys on the streets, them kind of guys, they was like, yeah, we gonna start rapping. They knew I was like one of the only people out, you know, at my school with the capability to record music because I was always recording music and putting it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started doing the studio time. $15 hour sessions. So
Come on, my nigga, talk to me because what I'm trying to figure out is like when do you get serious? Because at 5 years old, you're doing it, but
right.
we talking about baby rhymes. I'm talking about, when you really
Hey,
start
nah,
getting to it and start
I ain't
cutting.
never had no baby rhymes, man. My life has always been I grew up too fast, man.
You grew up fast.
My life
Okay.
has always been chaos and turmoil. So I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never have a moment where it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying my childhood. Not one
So
time.
you grew up very fast then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Because that's why I'm
almost
asking you the question, like, when does it get
right.
serious for you?
Yeah,
Because you
nah,
tell me at
almost
5 years old, I look at
almost
you and go,
instantly. It's instantly I'm serious. Like it's never been a time where I thought, that I'm just playing around with it. Like I've been serious about this forever. Nah, we
mm-hmm,
talking about like when I first understood the business side and understood like, how to distribute my music and get it on DSPs and, actually take the business side serious. I would say that was around like 2016, 2017, like a little bit
that's all I
after,
want to know. That's all
yeah,
I
a
want to
few
know.
years after I graduated high school. I was I was making some money. I was able to put some
Talk to me.
money
You
into
gotta
the
talk to me. You
thing.
gotta make it plain for me, bro. Because if you say, I was serious about music at 5 years old, I don't know a lot of people. I know now. I know some motherfuckers that was out here really doing some shit, and they was really shaking shit up in Chicago. But they were very, very, very dangerous people. And by the time they were 10, 11, 12 years old, they were dead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you were out really making music at 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, that means that either you or so a group of people around you were very serious about what it is that you had as far as a talent. That's all I'm trying to get to.
Well, me, I was always, like I said, I was always serious about it. From the
Word.
time when I started rapping, I automatically knew that this is what was going to be what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
For
Like
sure.
it
For
was, it
sure.
was never a time where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. It's not really for me. Like I ain't
Mm-hmm.
never go through that.
Mm-hmm.
I from the first second, this is
Mm-hmm.
all I ever wanted to do.
Bet it up, bet it up. And who are like so we got Nas. I think you mentioned a few others. What is your inspirational motivation as you're going through your music and you're saying these are the guys I can pull from and gather data from to create my own music? Is it other artists as well, or is it just you saying I already know what it is I want to do? I want to tell the story from Virginia.
Well, for me, I always have, and it's funny, man, because I remember, like, I'm telling you, I was a kid. I would play my music for people, and I'm like, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm playing my
Mm-hmm.
music for adults. They like, okay, okay, But one thing that a lady told me when she heard one of my songs is like, she was listening to like a lot of the songs I was making. She was like, man, this kid can sound like anybody. Cause she going through my catalog at the time, and like, I'm still trying to find my voice. So
Mm-hmm.
like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and to me, that kind of stuck with me because it's like I listen to everything. I listen to every genre. I listen to every artist. There's not much that I won't listen to. So when except for heavy metal, because I don't know what the hell they saying. But
Mm-hmm.
but I just like I have to study music. I've always had to study it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always pull from the artists that I like the most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull different aspects from them. Like how I said earlier, I like the Big Willie style album. When I listen to Big Willie style, what I take away from that is, okay, yeah, a lot of people call Will Smith corny as a rapper because he didn't curse and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can figure out a way to make my raps fly without cursing, I'll be able to reach more people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I mean, look, when I was in like I think I was like 18,
Mm-hmm.
my hair is straight down my back. I'm on DJ Quick heavy. So it's like I pull from everything to get me. It's not
For
like
sure.
I look up to one person and like, okay, I'm gonna emulate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mixture of everything. But I would say for me though, probably the most allegorical person that I like can tie myself to at this moment is Tupac.
Mm.
Only because, and I know like a lot of it's like cliche at this point. A lot of people say I'm the new Tupac. I'm Tupac, but the way that I approach it is okay. Give me another rapper from the East Coast that went to the Bay Area and blew up,
That
and you
went to the
can't
Bay Area and blew up. I can't name anybody.
you can't
Everybody that
think of
blew up
anybody.
that I know of, they were from the Bay.
Right. You can't think of anybody that did that other than Tupac. So that's kind of like and it's not like I even intentionally did that. That's who accepted me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. And
For
that's kind
sure.
of how I, made my way.
For sure. One thing about that situation with Pac was, from what I understand, he didn't have to do anything other than just tell a bunch of guys what happened and then get out the way of it. But because he decided to involve himself in it, here we are today wondering what type of music hip hop would have if Tupac were alive. People are sitting there wondering, where would we be right now in hip hop if Tupac were alive? So, coming from that era and understanding that era, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. What actually happened to him, Tupac was dope. He was dope in his era. He did a lot of great progressive, inspirational music that helped a lot of people out. But the things that happened to him and others around that time, there was no need for that. And we lost some really great men because of it. Boom. You're doing music. When are you cutting your own singles or your EPs? When did you start cutting? Did you mention that already?
Well, so I did put out my first official album in 2017 called
Okay.
Carmen. That was like right around the
Explain
time
that.
where,
Explain that.
yeah, so I took it took me the whole 2016, 2017 to actually, put it together. I had to learn the business side of it, like how to distribute the music,
Mm-hmm.
um, how to register my music with a PRO, and like I learned all that kind of stuff early. So I didn't have to wait years later to figure out my publishing and all
Yeah.
that. I kind of got that information immediately, and I guess that might be why it took me a while to like start releasing music like that, because I didn't want to do it without doing it right. So,
Okay.
but before that, I was dropping music on Dat Piff, and
For sure.
I think I was dropping music on YouTube, like all the way back from when I was in middle school, probably. Like I think when I was in sixth grade, that's when I started actually putting the music out on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so about sixth grade, I would say.
About sixth grade. What are some sites right now that you would recommend for other artists who are on their way, who are trying to figure out their way, and really they really want to be serious about music? So you would recommend these sites for them to check
Yeah,
out and
so
use. Is
so I
SoundCloud
will
still one of them?
I personally don't have any attachment to SoundCloud. I never
Gotcha.
really been I mean, I used to put music on SoundCloud, but that was like, when we was in the SoundCloud era, like when people was like, "Oh, he a
Gotcha.
SoundCloud rapper,"
Gotcha.
But I never used SoundCloud as like my primary platform because I was
Mm-hmm.
always doing projects. I was
Okay.
rarely doing a song at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that stuck with me to this day. Like that's why I don't really do a lot of singles because
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a, like a old school kind of rapper. Like I'll drop a single from the album, maybe two, and then drop the whole album. Like I'm still in that like 90s mindset of music.
Nothing
But
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
so a couple sites I would say, it just depends on what you want to do. Like for me, before I got my distribution set up through Empire and
Mm-hmm.
Gold Toes, I was using Symphonic. Um, you pay Symphonic 20 a year and you can release as much music as you want.
Well, damn.
And mind you, I've tried every single distributor there is. Like, I'm not the type of artist where I'm gonna just tell you, go to DistroKid or go to TuneCore because it's popular. Like, nah, I'm the kind of artist that I had to put a lot of money into testing all of these, a lot of time into moving my catalog from
Mm-hmm.
here to here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I done tried everything. So I would say Symphonic for me is the best one. They don't
Gotcha.
really give you any pushback when it's time for you to release music. You got a lot of platforms where they need you to upload documents and they need you to your artwork has to be
3,000
3026 by
megapixels.
3026. Yeah,
100%.
all
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So I would say that. And then on the publishing side, the PRO, you can go ASCAP or BMI. I chose BMI, that just was my preference. At the time, I think it was a little cheaper for me. I think I paid like maybe $200 for the songwriter and the publisher.
Right.
And I've had it. I got a royalty check from them the other day, So,
Is it
BMI is a good
how good
thing.
of a feeling is it for you to know that your work does pay off for you? Or are you at the phase where it's like I'm not worried about, right, or worried about that right now. I just want to
Well,
continue to build
for
some
me,
momentum.
I was never really in the mindset that I was gonna make a lot of money. I was in the mindset that I was gonna make good music. And
Mm-hmm.
what came with the good music would come, So if if the money came, and mind you, because I'm not like a super big money guy anyway. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's something that I learned from my mother, or I just picked up from her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't have any value for money. I don't really care about money. I understand that it's a tool that you need to, get through life, but it's not
There you go.
something that, really controls me. So, um, I just like to make music. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just make it. I do something every day that I like, and I let the people hear it. But that's really all I do it for, the fans. I wanted I wanted as many people as possible to hear me rap. I think that was what it was,
Sure.
even from when I was a kid.
Sure. I felt the same way, but I think one of the things about it for me was that not only did I want people to hear me rap, but I wanted people to know that I was just as good as the guy that they were listening to on the radio. The
Right,
the separation between me and anybody else was just the fact that you on the radio and I'm not. But if me and you in a studio together, I would tear ass all about you and everyone would know about it because someone would say something. I wouldn't say anything, but someone would report it and let them know that, hey, dude, he got a bug in him. You know what I'm saying? He really filled up to the brim. Some other shit. You know what I'm saying? So be careful when you go in there with him. That's how I would like it done. Boom, you got music. You getting the music put out. Along the way, are there any hiccups in the way to stop you from what you're trying to accomplish?
so I guess I would say the only time that I actually put a pause on music was when my son was born and I was with his mom. Like, that
Hmm.
literally, I would try to do music, but I wasn't really like as active as I was before I got with her.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
I would, before I was with her, I was, performing every night almost. I'm, out in the scene.
Yeah.
I'm with
She
my
caught that
boys.
bug. She caught that bug.
Well, so it's just she was the type of person that always wanted to know what I was doing.
Mm,
And when
mm.
I was in that situation, it was like, all right, do I want to argue all the time, or do I want to just have peace and quiet? So I just relaxed a little bit. I
Yeah.
still was
Yeah.
releasing music here and there, but it wasn't at the scale that I was doing it before. Before I was doing, I might do 2, 3 albums in a year, and
Hmm.
that's how I built up my catalog. Like, I got like eight albums out now, just from 2017 up until 2020. I was just going, and
For
then
sure.
I think after that I didn't drop another album until 2023. So it was like a big gap in between what I was doing, and it was almost like I didn't exist anymore. I had to
Okay.
build everything from the beginning.
So for me myself, I love music. I love bluegrass. I love country. I love R&B because all of it comes from the same source, from Black people music. That's what it is. So you traveling, you doing all this stuff, you working on music, you getting everything done. How comfortable are you in the studio making music now, knowing that you're doing what it is that you're supposed to?
Well, for me, I'm not really a studio guy. I've never
Okay.
really been a studio guy.
Get out of here.
Uh, Nah, like, I've been, of course. I think I
Wait, let me
did.
ask you this. Are you one of those guys that can't write in the studio so he got to go home or sit in the car with the ink pad to do his verse and then he go back into the booth to the booth? You want to know?
Nah,
Okay,
man. I can write anywhere, anytime,
gotcha.
any place. It don't take me long to write a song. It's not that. It's just like for me, I like absolute control over my sound. So, I guess it's because I've been doing it since I was a kid. I've taught myself how to mix and master from the time I was 6 years old, working with
Mm-hmm.
the we're working with nothing basically, and going through the stages of Rock Band mic and
Yeah.
the USB AT 2020 and
Mm-hmm.
the Audacity Mixcraft. I done went through every step that everybody that make music has been through. So for me, I take pride in actually controlling the sound that I put out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say I haven't been to studios. I did one of my albums, my whole album at a studio one time. It was cool, but it was like, damn, I could have did this at home. So it's like I could have saved me about $700, and
Right.
just did it the way
Right.
I usually do it. I got the same result, so it's like
Mm.
I was
Yes, the
thinking like,
tickets ain't the
okay,
tickets price ain't going up. You got me paying all this shit, and
right, and
ain't none of this
I'm
shit
thinking at
matching.
the time, I'm like, okay, if I try it a different way, I'll get a different result. And people like the album, but where I'm at, the area I'm
Mm-hmm.
in, it's
Mm-hmm.
not for them. Like, the guys out here, the people out here,
Mm-hmm.
they make a lot of drill music. They make, you know, they do what y'all do in Chicago, basically. So it's
Ah,
like,
way of that. Just had to throw us out there as a bulletproof shield, bro.
hey,
Damn
look,
it, man.
I'm telling you, man, because I'm actually engineering the sessions that these guys are in, and
Yeah.
they rapping on all the beats that y'all got pushing out at the time. They doing all the flows y'all got going at the time. My little brother thought he was Chief Keef for real once at one point, you know.
Hey,
So
little bro, you are not Chief Keef. I don't know what you're doing out there,
nah. That was a phase, man. But I'm
but
saying
you are
like
not Chief Keef.
that was a
Trust me.
phase, man. But I'm saying though, like that Chicago sound, once it hit here,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of took the hood by storm, and everybody thought that they was gonna be,
The next one.
right. So that's what I had to go through out here. A lot of people not really caring for what I was doing as far as like the genre I was making, because I'm making West Coast music. Like I'm not making, you know.
Talk your shit. Come on
And
now.
mind you,
Talk your shit.
Virginia, like after the Teddy Riley and Timberland and Pharrell, Pusha T and the Clips, like after that generation was basically fizzled out,
That
Virginia
was
lost
it.
all of its sound and identity. There's no to this day, there's no Virginia sound that I can point to and say, yeah, that sounds like Virginia.
Ain't that part of your job?
No, it's not my job
Fuck
because
out of here. You a rapper. You from there. That's your job.
nah, Matt Dre said that's not my job. You know,
Your
look,
job is not to let people know what the sound from
so
Virginia is.
I can't do it because there isn't one. Like, you know,
Mm.
and so the problem that I found, this is what I found out about Virginia, and this is how Virginia sound kind of became a open-ended sound because it's no sound. Like, when you go to California, a Bay Area sound, a LA sound.
You sure do. You fucking right about that,
When
man.
you go to
You
New
you
York,
know it.
well,
Yes.
not now, but when you
No,
went to New
no. Well,
York
you,
at one point,
yeah,
there was a New York sound. In the
yeah.
South,
Boom
there's a
cap.
South sound.
Yes, there is.
Houston has its sound. Atlanta has its
Yes.
sound. Virginia
Atlanta
doesn't
has a
have
totally
that.
different sound from Houston. Yes,
Right,
that's
right,
true.
right.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Virginia doesn't have that, and I think it's because though, when all of our biggest artists for the most part were producers. So it's
Yeah.
like they're producing for acts that live everywhere.
Outside of where they are. Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
like, Pharrell, he's making beats for Snoop. He's making beats for Nori. He's making
Yeah.
beats for, everybody all over the map.
P.I.
Right.
Everybody, the
So it's
game,
like
Raekwon, all those guys. Yeah.
you can't pinpoint a sound because it's
Hmm.
making sounds for everywhere. Same thing with Timbaland. He's making music and he's making beats for Justin Timberlake and
Hmm.
Aaliyah and
Hmm.
Genuine and Static Major and Missy Elliott. So it's like the sound that we had, it just transcended the area.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no sound here. Like it was never set up to be that way. And if Timbaland, Missy Elliott, Teddy Riley, and Chris Brown and Trey Songz, if all these people can't sit here and say, all right, this is gonna be the sound, then y'all can't make me do it. I ain't don't make me the sacrifice.
Hmm. Right. Right.
Because I can't do it. My sound is 1993 mob music with the bass line louder than the
Hmm.
drums. That's what I'm giving them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Boom. So, how many projects do you have out currently right now? Can you name them?
Oh yeah, yeah, I could name them all. Carmen was my first album.
Hmm.
I named it after the first car I ever bought, a
Hmm.
1999 Toyota Camry. My next album was Jewel. I named that one after a 2013 Honda Civic I bought. Let's see, Carmen
Hmm.
Jewel,
Hmm.
He Got Game, Mermaid City. My name is Nicholas. Some people call me the Funk. I'm gonna toss it in the air, whatever status you can keep. Major Factor. We did Mapper Crew, Straight Lacing No Chasing 1, Straight Lacing No
Hmm.
Chasing 2. I made an R&B. I made two R&B EPs when I thought I was Static Major. Um, I put those together and named it After Dark because I thought I was Static Major. Um, and I got a EP named Jade, and I named that one after my Mustang. And I just yeah, and I got a few singles sprinkled in there here and there. So a lot of music, man. I don't think I missed nothing.
For sure. For sure. Now, with your music that you have out, do you have an upcoming project? Do you have all singles out right now?
Well, I got a few singles out, but it's not from
Okay.
the project that's coming. I
Okay.
ain't dropped nothing from the project that's coming.
Cool. Dope. So the project that you have that you're working on,
Mhm.
how many songs are you talking about for that project?
So probably like either 10 or 11. It's like
That's dope.
teetering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so you
teetering.
it's EP. So it's an EP then. No, 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 no. That's a LP.
Hmm.
Once you hit that double digit mark, that's a LP.
Well, once you hit 7, it's an LP. 6 and under is the EP.
Yeah. Well, for me, I go 8 or 9. I'll just say 8 or 9 is still an EP to me. Yeah, whatever. How comfortable are you with the work that you have for that project?
Man, I think it's hey,
Nah.
let's just say, man, it'll take the world by storm.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what I did for this one was it's a little different because I didn't work with any artist that I've ever worked with before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I may have worked with them before, like, but I haven't put them on any of my projects before. Like, um, I got I got music. I got a song with Polyester the Saint.
Okay.
You know, Holland is and Inky Slim and Slim Gorilla. And man, I could go on and on. I got some hitters up there, and what I did, like because I'm not the type of artist where it's like, oh, I'm only gonna record with Bay Area artists. I'm only gonna record with LA artists. I record with whoever I think is fire. So,
Yeah, I was going to
you
say I don't
know,
think that you would do anything like that, even though you say, like you said, you love West Coast music, I don't think that you would just stop at one specific group of people to record an album. I think that you would get as many people involved as possible. And it just so happens if it worked out that way, those were the doper artists for you.
Right,
But you just,
right.
I think, I would like to think that coming from Virginia, you have a more well-rounded um purse of artists to choose from.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so that project, that's a whole thing. Me and Bass Beats, because Bass Beats is the one who did all the production on it.
Hmm.
So that's like 11 one song. I think the intro is just me, and the rest of them is
Hmm.
features, you know. Um, and then I got another project that I'm working on with L
Okay.
Fingers. I
You
got
gonna drop
him
that this
all.
year as well?
Whenever it's ready, man.
Okay. All
Whenever,
right. All right. Look,
I'm not the kind of guy that sit on
that shit
music like
together.
without a reason. Like
Yeah,
right
get it
now, the
together.
only reason my next project isn't out is because I didn't get all the features back yet. Once
Mm,
I get two more verses, three more verses back, then y'all can have it. I'm a put it available for CD as
hmm.
soon as I get the mix done, and then I'll drop it on DSPs like a month later, and we'll do that thing. But
Let me ask you about that.
yeah.
Working with other artists, do you find it difficult to get that what am the word I'm looking for? The turnaround? Is it
Well,
difficult to get that turnaround from them?
so for some artists, yes, it is.
Okay.
You gotta be Frank Lucas, wading through the jungles of Korea.
Mm-hmm.
But for some artists, man, like if it's an artist like me, I'm the kind of guy that, if somebody asks me for something, I'm getting it to you immediately. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think I think Anthony Danza, I think, you know, he hit me one day. He was like, "Hey man, I got this song I want you on." So I'm driving home from work, writing the song,
Mm.
so that when I get home, I can just record it that day.
Jump right
Like,
into it. Okay.
so me, I'm the kind of guy, I'm getting your verse back immediately. Like, and that's when anybody asks me for a verse, they pay for a verse, anything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting it back. If not the same day, cause I had to go to work or something like that, and it's gonna be that night or it's gonna be the
Okay.
next day. You getting it back though. So but that's just me. Like I look at every verse as an opportunity. And so I always like even when I was doing features for free, I was just doing them
Mm-hmm.
like I was just getting them out because it's like the more songs I'm on, the more opportunity people have to hear me. And like I said, I just want y'all to hear me rap and y'all to think it's good.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Coming up in Virginia, like you were saying earlier, the guys, the Titans that already came before you have already passed on. Do you feel like you're one of those guys that can lead the next wave of talent and music for Virginia?
Nah, not out here, man.
No,
Look, I hate to say this because it sounds bad,
no,
but it's
say it.
like
Come on, talk,
I
talk.
already I already gave up on Virginia as like a scene.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not really it has no benefit to me. It's
Mm,
like everybody out here is clicked up, or they have their favorites, their popular people that they like, and they're gonna always make sure that they shine. What I did was I've always listened to West Coast music, so I was
mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna just make the music I like to listen to. So when I, started making the music that I like to listen to and not the music that I thought people like to listen to, I kind of lost a lot of support because it's like, oh, we don't like that shit out here,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not until now where I get people from out here that be like, "Oh man, we love what you're doing," But it's like, okay, y'all are like the anomaly though. Like y'all not the core fan base. Like
Mm-hmm.
I pull up my analytics right now, and it's not gonna say nothing about Virginia. It's gonna say Sacramento, Oakland, Los Angeles. It's gonna say, you know. San Diego, it might say
Everything, everything
it,
catered more to a different group of people.
right. It's gonna say Detroit. It might say Kansas City, but it's not gonna say Virginia Beach, Norfolk. It's not gonna say DC. It's not gonna say nothing on this side at all.
Man, let me say this though. Anytime I hear an artist and I know they from Virginia, whether it's SWV with Pharrell doing the background vocals, I let people know, hey, that's Pharrell. Can y'all hear Pharrell in the background?
Right.
Because there's a lot of music out there for guys that come from Virginia, whether they be male, female artists, R&B, hip hop, whatever it is, rock and roll. And Virginia has represented. No, they do not have a particular sound, but Virginia itself has represented, and it's evident when you listen to Teddy Riley and you listen to Michael Jackson, all these different guys that Virginia has really been making great music from there. But bro, the best part about Virginia is that you guys are so eclectic and so awesome that that you can do that. No, there is not a particular sound from there. DJ Premier has a sound from New York, and the nigga is from Houston, Texas, bro. He makes New York boom bap music. So the dope part to me is that Virginia, where you're from, they haven't figured out a complete sound that's specifically them, but they got dope ass people, and I think that's one of the best things. No one knows what the sound really is because everyone is so different and everyone's trying to branch out and find their own sound and create their own
Exactly.
lane that no one can nail it down and say no, everything sounds like Teddy Riley. No, it doesn't because Pharrell and Chad, they did something. And then Timberland did something, and Missy did something, and Tweak did something, and all these different people did something. Chris Brown did something. And I think that's one of the dope things that there is about where you're from, bro, is that it's not necessarily the sound, it's the artistry that you guys are also bringing that says, I don't have that sound that they have, or we don't have a particular sound, but what we do have is something that's just as dope. We have a body of work that says that we are dope as well. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm saying that also to say that the Midwest, where when you speak on Chicago, Chicago is known for music with hi-hats, right? That's what we're known for. Legendary tracks, the Twister, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, Snipers. Like we're known for that. But if Common didn't tell you he was from Chicago, would you know that was Common? If Kanye didn't tell you he was from Chicago, would you know that was a Chicago sound? You wouldn't know that shit, right? Because what Kanye does is he takes a bunch of different mediums of music and he blends them together well in his music, bro. So in the end, what I'm really trying to say without going any further and any deeper in it is I'm saying that you should still rep where you from, but just know that your music, excuse me, pardon me, is dope as it is because you're representing yourself, but you're also a representation of where you come from, which is Virginia. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like when you hear Kanye West music, Ye, when you hear Ye's music, you don't go, yo, that's some Chicago shit. You don't hear that all the fucking time because you don't always do that, right? So there are different artists. No one would know that Chance the rapper was from Chicago if he didn't tell you that. You understand? So I think it's always it's pertinent for you to continue to represent Virginia and say, I'm from Virginia. But no, it don't sound like that because we don't have a particular sound, but I'm from Virginia and I'm one of the best representations that there is because I have a fresh sound and I'm giving you something fresh for your ears to hear, bro. And I think that's dope for you to
Well,
do.
I think actually that may just be the making of a star,
Word,
to
big
be from
bird.
somewhere, but you don't know where unless they tell you.
Yeah.
To me, that's the make that like that is what makes a superstar because when you get too localized and too regional with your sound
Mm-hmm.
and people can hear it and be like, oh, he from Chicago, oh, he
Mm-hmm.
from LA, he from
Mm-hmm.
he from here, it's like, okay. at that point, people are gonna, I know this is like an acting word, but people are going to typecast you. Like,
For sure.
this is what he do. He can't get out of that box, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
for somebody from somewhere with no sound and no box, I had to literally train myself how to I can write to any beat there is. It's like it's no I don't have a box. It's just what I put out is what I like. I like
Mm-hmm.
making the music I like listening to because I am the kind of guy that when I'm by myself, I'll put my music on and I'll study it. Like, okay, I could have said this better. I could have,
Dope, dope.
I could have wrote that different. I could have, I could have used this flow. And I study myself like game film. And that way when it comes time for the next project,
Mm-hmm.
I can, polish my skills. And that's why if you listen to any of my old music and you listen to the new music, it's like you can hear the growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed of it. That's why I still got all the old music out and the catalog is there for everybody to hear it because I want y'all to see that I'm not a plant. I actually put the time, the energy, the effort, and the work into perfecting my skill and doing this the right way.
Sure, for sure. Question for you. Name 3 to 5 artists that you would like to work with. Doesn't matter
Sugar.
if they dead or alive,
Oh,
whatever.
dead or alive. Okay,
Don't matter.
okay.
It does not matter, bro.
All right. So
Open your mind up, think deep and
yeah.
hard, deep and
So
free about
somebody
it.
that I always wanted to work with is Static Major,
Okay.
Aaliyah,
That's 2.
Tupac,
3,
George Clinton,
4.
and Sugar Free.
That's 5. Now, I'm gonna ask you this question. What makes you want to work with Sugar Free? Did you freeze up on me? Oh, okay.